We often associate trauma with a massive, headline-grabbing rupture, a sudden event that violently shatters an otherwise quiet life. Anthropologist Veena Das finds the most pervasive suffering woven into the daily texture of living. It is the quiet weight of betrayal or the routine endurance needed to persist through the poisonous knowledge of grief. This daily pain mirrors a universal human experience, the metaphysical ache of total isolation. The book of Genesis labels this state from the very beginning. Among all the good elements of creation, the text identifies a single exception, the reality that the first man was alone. Historical figures like the prophet Elijah felt this crushing despair. Despite immense public success, he fled into the wilderness, convinced he was the only faithful person left on earth. Over time, this evolved into a modern existential dread, the sensation of feeling entirely cut off while standing in a crowded room. Literature captures this alienation through characters like Gregor Samsa in Kafka's The Metamorphosis. He wakes up physically transformed and unable to communicate, trapped in a mundane room while life continues on the other side of the door. If our reality is defined by this quiet cycle of systemic pain, how can a transcendent God engage with it? Popular imagination often pictures the Christian God as a solitary monarch watching the world from a high, silent distance. Theology suggests a dynamic alternative, perichoresis. The Father, Son, and Spirit eternally dwell within one another. Like a reciprocal engine, each person constantly pours their being into the others in an endless exchange of love. God's essence is a continuous act of giving himself away. Because God's internal life is an outward flowing love, his response to human suffering spills over from the divine into our physical world. Christ entered history through a radical descent into the unglamorous realities of human life. He experienced poverty, hunger, and physical exhaustion firsthand. This voluntary self-emptying of divine privilege is called kenosis. It allowed the Son to share in the specific vulnerabilities of our condition. Viewed through the lens of Veena Das, the crucifixion appears as the peak of ordinary, systemic violence. Death on cross was a state-sanctioned execution for the marginalized, the profound mark of social degradation. On that cross, Christ cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" In that moment, he absorbed the farthest edge of human isolation. The cross shows the Trinity stretching to inhabit our deepest alienation. God chose to suffer within the system, rather than attempting to erase it from the outside. The pierced heart of Christ serves as a profound paradox. The center of agonizing injury becomes the source of healing life. By enduring the depths of spiritual abandonment, Christ ensured human solitude would never be a truly empty void. Our loneliness transforms into a wounded place of encounter. To feel alienated is to stand in a space where God has already been. This redemptive pulse continues through the Holy Spirit. This presence makes a historical execution a tangible reality in the modern world. This carries a mandate for the Church. To reflect the Trinity, the community must lay aside worldly status and power to bear witness to the quiet suffering that the world overlooks. The deepest divine mysteries reside within our fragile humanity. The heart of God beats in the silence of our ordinary lives.